Hello, second grade team. I know that we are not a testing grade, but I think we must know the role we play in our second graders' learning, how we are laying the foundation that continues to be built upon once children leave our classroom. This is a data view of Richard B. Russell Elementary. The purpose of this presentation is to review Russell Elementary School's data for the past 3 years. We will first explore our school's demographics. Next, we're going to take a look at how our students perform on the Georgia milestones and look at data by different subgroups. After that, we will look at our feeder schools data and compare the data with the districts and state. Finally, we will summarize the findings and discuss some next steps. Let's take a look at this graph right here. Over the past 3 years, Russell's enrollment has declined. During the 2016-17 school year, we had 737 students to enroll. During the 2017-18 school year, we only had 712 students. The following year, we had 702 students to enroll. As you can see, the number of students attending Russell has decreased. We are projected to lose a teacher allotment for the 2020-2021 school year due to our enrollment numbers. Let's look at our subgroups. Over the past 3 years, our economically disadvantaged as well as our ELL population has slightly declined. However, the number of students with disabilities has increased by 10%, almost 10%. Let's take a look at our subgroup by race. The data shows that Blacks or African Americans make up over half of our school population, followed by the Hispanic population. This data also shows that there has been an increase in the number of white or Caucasian students that attend Russell Elementary over the past 3 years. This graph shows the Russell ELA's achievement data for the last 3 years. The bright pink color represents third grade, the purple color represents fourth, and the blue represents fifth. Down here we have our beginning learners, developing learners, proficient, and distinguished. It's also broken up by school year. If we take a closer look at third grade, you can see that our beginning learners did increase from the 2016-17 and 2017-18 school year. However, the developing learners decreased during the same time frame. On the other hand, the percentage of proficient learners showed a slight increase over the years, while the distinguished learners continued to increase. The same exact trend that is seen in third grade also occurs in fourth grade for beginning and developing learners. However, the number of proficient students in fourth grade is inconsistent, as you can see here. The score of the proficient students went up the first 2 years and declined the third year. When looking at fourth grade's distinguished learners, it also shows an inconsistent pattern of growth and decline. When it comes to fifth grade, the number of beginning learners is decreasing over the entire 3 years, while our developing, proficient, and distinguished learners showed an inconsistent pattern of growth and decline. This graph is set up pretty much like the ELA graph, but now we're going to talk about the math. So this shows Russell's math achievement data for the last 3 years. When looking at third grade, the data showed a continuous decrease in beginning learners over the time frame. The developing learners from 2016-17 school year to the 2017-18 school year showed a significant decrease, while the proficient from 2016-17 school year showed a large increase. It went from 16.1% to 29%. This data shows that we are moving students from level 2 to level 3. This same trend was seen for the distinguished learners for the same school year. For the 4th and 5th graders seem to have a consistent pattern of increasing and decreasing throughout those 3 years. Now we take a look at our different subgroups. Let's take a look at our economically disadvantaged students. So here's the ELA data. The beginning is this pink color. The purple will be the developing, blue is proficient, this light blue, and this slightly darker blue will be the distinguished. Here is the economically disadvantaged math data. I'll give you a second to look over that. When it comes to ELA and math, the data shows that there is a higher percentage of developing learners during all 3 academic school years. At the same time, the proficient learners are increasing each year, while the distinguishing learners continue to fluctuate. Let's look at our students with disabilities. Once again, we have the beginning learners, blue, developing, pink color, proficient is light blue, and distinguished is going to be this darker blue. For 3 academic school years, the ELA data fluctuates, as you can see here. The beginning learners went from 51.7% to 44.7%, then back up to 52.50%. And when it comes to the proficient learners, the data also fluctuates. English language learners is the next subgroup that we would discuss. So here's the ELA data. It shows that the majority of our English language learners are beginning and developing learners, as you can see, with a small percentage of proficient and distinguished. In math, the majority of the students are beginning and developing learners as well. They also have a small percentage of proficiency in the 2016 school year. There was 2.2%, but the last 2 years, ELL did not show any growth in distinguished or have any students that were distinguished. Next, we will discuss the data for the Black population. The data shows a higher percentage for proficient and distinguished when compared to the previous subgroups. If we take a look at their math, it shows that the Black population has an overall higher percentage of proficient and distinguished learners. Looking at ELA again in math, the percentage of distinguished learners grew every year. You can see here. And here's math again. Now let's look at the white population. For ELA, out of all the subgroups, they have the highest percentage of proficient and distinguished learners. 33%, 5.1. And then they even move some more from level 3 to level 4 here and even here. Let's look at their math. In math, they also have the highest percentage of proficient and distinguished learners. Nevertheless, their percentage of distinguished learners decline each year though. We're going to transition into the feeder pattern data. So we have Russell Elementary here, Floyd Middle School, and South Cobb. ELA is represented in the bright pink and math is purple. According to the data, math is Russell's strength, while ELA is the strongest for Floyd Middle School and South Cobb High School. We're going to compare Richard B. Russell, Floyd, and South Cobb a little bit more. So here's a comparison of Russell, the county, and the state. Once again, the pink, this right here, is for ELA, and the purple is for math. Russell has a lower percentage in ELA when compared to Cobb County School District and the state. Okay. Although Russell has a lower percentage in math compared to the state, Russell has a higher percentage of math when compared to our county. All right, so in summary, the data shows that Russell is performing higher in math than in ELA. However, we have several students who are still scoring as beginning and developing learners. Our job is to work with all students to help them perform at a higher level. The data shows overall that third grade students are the weakest and that our students with disability is the subgroup that struggles the most, right along with ELL. We need to work really hard on closing the gap between these two subgroups, helping third graders. All in all, we need to continue to work with students in both math and ELA so they can be successful. Here are a few questions I want you guys to think about. What can we do to increase our students' performance in reading and in writing? What strategies can we use to adjust our instructional practice in reading and math, or ELA and math? And are there any other ways we can support our students that are struggling in ELA? Thank you.